basketball to play, but he's definitely got more here in the next couple of weeks. So excited about him. And Malik, it's been such a topsy-turvy. You know, he's been through the most, and yet the injury this year was tough. I mean, he had an incredible summer, and whether he comes back or not, and that decision will be made by him. But we'll all talk about, you know, what could have been. Does that mean if he leaves, he'd have a chance to play professionally? Maybe. Or would it benefit him to be back another year, you know? But he, too, is now playing his best basketball. If there's anything a coach wants to see, it's guys playing their best basketball when it matters the most. And all three of them got incredible families. You know, it's been a blessing for me to have them. Yeah, it's always frustrating at times to go through some things, but when you go through some things like Joey early or Tyson, you know, his first year, Malik, his ups and downs, but when you see him come out of it, the way they have, rewarding for a coach, very rewarding.
Can you think of a class that, when you talk about all the different stuff from when Malik was a freshman on a championship team to the COVID and everything that's happened this year, can you think of a class that's had
deal with more?
Yeah, have to deal with more stuff.
No,
really.
no, never. You know, the classes that went through Nassar, but that wasn't even over when Malik came, you know, and I'd say Malik Hall has been through it all. You know, Joey's been through most of it too, but that COVID stuff, you know, you figure that one summer, I said that about Rocket, you know, nobody got to practice, nobody got to work out, you know. You lose a lot in that, you know, guys that need to get better and guys that are gym rats, like Hauser, like Rocket, like, you know, Malik's a gym rat, and all of a sudden they don't get to do the same things or work. It stunts your growth, stunts your development. So I think all the guys around the country have been through a lot with that. I feel like kids got gypped, just like I think they got gypped in college. You know, going to class and online classes. I hate that stuff. You know, because I think part of the college experience is being able to practice. Part of the college experience is go and, you know, meet one of you guys in the classroom that you become friends with for life, you know. Hell, I don't even know how you get a date anymore. I guess you got to go online for that too. But you know, back in the good old days, Mariucci and I, you know, you get in the right class, you get a date, for God's sake. So all those things. I didn't do too well. You know, better than Mariucci, but I didn't do too well. But you look at all those things that these guys haven't had, and that's why I hope every guy stays as long as he can to get back to normalcy. You know, and that means, you know, you think we're done with COVID, and then things happen, and then all of a sudden we're not back in class there either. And you know, so, you know, and I don't want to forget Jason is the other guy that's done and leaving, you know, because just think about him. He comes here for his lifetime dream to just be at a school and play at a school like this. And, you know, probably growing up 20 miles from me, I was probably, I won't say his idol, but I'd say I was something he looked up to. And he came here knowing no scholarship, no play, no this, no that. And then he blows it after we give him a scholarship, because we had one, after he earns the right to, we're saying maybe play a little bit, he blows his knee and decided to stay one more year. God, that's special. And I think that specialness is going to pay dividends for him down the road. So we got him and Joey and Malik. Two of them will finish their masters. Malik will be close. Definitely Tyson will graduate. You know, so we're 4 for 4 in that. You know, don't have any championships yet, but they've had a hell of a run through some incredible times.
I'm wondering from Malik, seeing what Joey did and coming back this year, does that mean there's a blueprint if he wants to?
There is a blueprint, but there's a blueprint for a lot of guys. You know, you can talk about the guys that came out early and made it. You talk about the guys that came out early and fell on their face. It doesn't seem to affect the next guy. You know, that'll be a personal decision for Malik, but I do think it helps when you see some of the things you see, like Tyson, you know, those guards at Baylor a couple years ago came back for their 4th and 5th year, you know, and won a national championship. I mean, it's amazing how things turn out. And when you do look at Joey last year, and Joey this year as a player, as a person, as a teammate. I mean, it's just sort of night and day, you know. There's just the confidence. He's been so good, and it's so fun to watch.
Tom, the second half on Tuesday, how can that kind of set the tone for you guys here last game?
Well, we had a hell of a practice, you know. I'll be honest with you. I thought we played well at Michigan. I don't look at just halves. I look at minutes. You know, we played a lot of good minutes at Michigan. We played a lot of good minutes against Indiana. We played a lot of good minutes against Iowa, you know. We did not play as many good minutes maybe against Nebraska, and yet we missed some good shots early, you know, but we let that affect our defense. Second half, we showed both. So if I look at the last 4 or 5 games, and I look at all the minutes, if we played that many good minutes, we got some games to win yet. And the ticket was today, got to get back to our defense being better, our rebounding being better, and keep working on our offense to get it where that ball has been moving. I mean, that's the difference. You guys said it early in the year, the ball seemed to be sticking. The ball moving has really changed, and it's moving well, and AJ's a big reason for that. He's really taken over a commanding role on my team.
Did he embrace? I mean, you talked the last couple of weeks about maybe him taking a little bit fewer shots and trying to get the assists up. How is he kind of taking to that?
Well, you know, AJ. I mean, he's cocky enough to handle himself, but did he embrace it? I don't know if he embraced it, but more importantly, he's done it. And that doesn't mean he can't shoot the ball now, but it just means that when you're driving, you got to be pretty special to be able to do both. And he's growing into that now. But I would say that in general, he's really done a great job. You know, to his own admission, he didn't think he played very good the first half. I think players get better when they learn how to self-evaluate. It's a big thing in my program. Can you self-evaluate? He self-evaluated halftime. I told him, go in there and tell the team that. He did. And he took care of it and did something about it the second half. Those are steps, maybe giant steps in the right direction.
Did they tell you anything about how 19 games will affect you next week?
No idea, you know, I still
not
upsets me.
I was wondering about
but
the seeding.
it's no idea how that affects. I mean, when we're sitting here on a Thursday and have no idea whether we could be a 10 or 11 seed in our own tournament or a 3 or 4, I guess. That, you thought was something that's never happened? That's never happened, you know? That would be, that's unbelievable right now. So there's games tonight that have some implications on it. Game Saturday there too.
So there's another senior on the team, some Izzo kid.
Yeah.
I guess he's going to come back again.
Yeah, you know,
we won't see you.
I think whether he misses, whether he, you know, he would never say it to anybody. I think he missed me. You know, I think he really thought about it, and he said, what would it be like not to get my butt chewed every day, you know? And but Steven's got the COVID year, and maybe not as much for basketball, but he wanted to stay with it. And he too is already graduated, so he's working on his master's, and he finishes it next year. So it's a big success story, and if I was to be very honest with you, it's really a good thing for me. It's just been an incredible experience having him around every day, and so he doesn't even. I told him he could walk in case he changed his mind, and he didn't want to walk, so I guess he'll walk next year.
So another year before you got to come.
Yeah, then I'll walk him out. Yeah, that'll be good. I'll walk him out, or I don't know, get my wife's boyfriend. Somebody will walk him out.
Just out of curiosity, 'cause I'd assume that Joey's done, but could he apply for that medical if he wanted to?
Yeah, I think he could. You know, I haven't even talked to him about it. I will, just because, you know, I mean, he would be a good guy to figure out where he's at. You know, how long can he go to school? Figure out where he is and chances to play beyond here. But there's been a couple of examples. I think the kid from Nebraska, you know, I think there's been more than a couple examples. A couple kids from Illinois. I think the one kid at Duke is in sixth. You know, Joey may or may not. You know, that's totally up to him. But it is something I haven't even addressed him with, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how he feels and what he's done. I mean, he's improved a lot. And there's people that are going to have some interest in Joey Hauser now. If it's enough interest, I say sayonara. If it's not, I say let's see what happens. But that's totally up to Joey.
When you look back at that, it's a time of year when you're still driving home lessons and teaching. When you looked at the Iowa game, the last 2 minutes, the lessons that the players saw when they looked on film, staying focused, boxing out, grabbing those loose balls, defensive awareness on who's a 3, who's a 4, who's got Sanford. Are you gaining a sense yet that resonated with them?
I am. I mean, we had our best practice in 2 years today. What does that mean? Probably nothing. I've had bad practices and played good. I've had good practices and played bad. But what there was today, there's just a sense. We had an early morning meeting. I don't know if my players are getting like me, where March means everything, like it does me, or whether they're starting to see that, as we talked before the Nebraska game about just how close we were for playing for a championship. I think all those things resonate. I got really good kids. I got a lot of smart kids. I got a lot of really good students. And maybe they all put it together and understand it. But there was some zip today. We'll see if there's zip tomorrow. And most importantly, there's got to be zip on Saturday.
You've had some guys in the past 25 years that can tell them these things, and it might just be going in 20 years. These guys, is it like talking to a wall, or do you think they're absorbing it?
There's some that I felt like I was talking to a wall over some time. For some reason, I think, when you have a dramatic, we've had a tragedy here. That kind of rings a little bit. We've had just a traumatic loss, not a tragedy, a traumatic loss. That rings a little bit, and things mean a little bit more when it happens to you, as I say. And I think that they look at things and I think they realize how close we were. That Purdue game here, the Northwestern game, or the Iowa game, and all of a sudden you're tied for first. It sounds crazy, but it's the truth.
Even though some of the mistakes were done by seniors.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
I mean, when I say mistakes, I said it then and I'll say it again now, and it's what I did Sunday morning. If a kid makes a mistake, that's a smart kid, it's probably the coach's fault. And I looked at myself, I said it after the game, I said it on the airplane, I said, did we go over some of these things enough?
like during timeouts or pregame? Or
during practices, during a timeout, it's pretty hard to change the things then. And, end of game, I mean, we were digging a little bit, and 2s couldn't beat you, 3s could. And, we talked about it, but did we work on it? And so, I didn't do it take the pressure off the players' humility. I did it because I believed it. I'm sure as hell not perfect either. I got a long way to go. And I make my mistakes, they make theirs. I thought that was a mistake I made. I rectified that Sunday morning, and every day now we've worked on some of those things, and we're going to do better. And you know what? Those kind of situations make players more aware and better, but they make coaches more aware and better too. And so we had a long coaches meeting Sunday too to figure out how could we get better.
And situationally, we're defending 3s right now, so it's a matter of getting in practice and saying, okay, we're up 7 with 20 seconds to go. But if you work on that, then you're not working on something else, right?
There's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. And
Done it.
yeah, and it's really difficult. I mean, we still practice almost 2 hours a day. I mean, there's teams that are practicing 45 minutes a day. Mm-hmm. I've never been in that camp. A lot of the guys I know aren't in that camp, but there are some guys in that camp. And so I still want to get done what I want to get done, and somehow you got to squeeze them in there. And it just taught me how important those things are. And the little things are important, as we always say.
What number of practice today was this? 115, 120, whatever?
Yeah, I think 110s or more.
And
yeah.
it takes 120
Yeah.
to get to where you want to be March 10th.
Yeah, that's great, man. If we can practice 10, 12 more times, that'd be awesome.
I wasn't here when you mentioned Tyson Walker. Is he thinking about it too? Is he going to make a decision, or is he for sure going? Or
No, nobody's for sure going anywhere, and nobody's for sure staying anywhere. I mean, those guys all got some decisions to make. I think the only one that's definitely out of time is Jason Whitens, and he's applied for his ARP or APR or whatever that card is, you know. So I think he's going into a home in a couple of weeks. So, but other than that, everybody's got some decisions to make after the year. You know, they're not going to make them now. We'll make them after the year, after they see, you know, how they feel, what they think, where they are. I think it's an all good thing, and I think I'll be a part of it, and that's great.
Tom, one more for you. You've mentioned multiple times fans stick with us. You said earlier this is the best practice of the year. How much more confident are you feeling in this? You've been confident all year, but how good do you feel?
You know,
in
I'm
this
glad
team
you
right
said that. I have been confident all year. Disappointed more than a few times, but confident. And what I said to you in this fall, I said to you after some losses, I said to you in the middle of the year, I haven't changed my opinion. And I've, as you don't know, but Jimmy, you know, there's years I say we're not that good, we're not this, we're not that. We're not as talented as some of the teams I've had. But right now, we're doing the things you got to do to win. We have pretty good guard play, at times phenomenal guard play. We're shooting the ball better than we have in a long time. What we haven't done as well is defend and rebound. Sometimes we start shooting about, you know, yes, the coach wants everything. It's not Iowa women's basketball of 100 years ago. You got to play both ends. And that's what the battle cry is for this next week or so.
Coach, I'm working on a story on Davis. I was wondering if I could ask you
On who?
Davis Smith. A few quick questions.